Hi there, welcome back to Bernina Club. Now before I start on anything, I'm just going to run through the threading again and threading your needle. The first thing you need to do is, you've got your foot lever here, your foot needs to be raised when you're going to thread your machine up so that the tension units here are open. The next thing you need to do is make sure your needle's at the highest position. These machines automatically stop with the needle at the high position, but if you've got an older machine you can turn your balance wheel and make sure the needle's at the high position. And if you're not sure that this machine's at the highest position, just put your foot down, push your needle down function and push it up and you know it's at the right position. Remember then to lift your foot up. The next thing you need to do is find your thread. And you need to come in behind here. Step number 1, make sure it is in there correctly. Come straight down through the tension discs. Come around to number 3, which is clicking it up into here. Straight up to the take-up lever, which goes up and clicks and down. Make sure it is in there. It's very important. It will not sew if it's not. Then come down behind the little bar. Come down behind this little bar here. Now at this stage, if you want to, you can put your foot down. So to thread your machine, go under the little hook here as you're bringing this down. Push your lever down, keep pushing it till it goes all the way through the needle. Slide your thread straight across, click it in, let your right hand go. That's the most important thing, and then let your left hand go. You've now got a beautiful big loop behind your needle. You can just pull your loop out and lift your foot up, and that is how you thread your machine. Now on this one I can put the thread straight in under there and I'm ready to go, and I can cut it and I have threaded my machine. That is not the colour I'm going to use, that was just to show you. So now when you're going to thread a new colour, you're going to cut your thread and you're going to pull it from your needle all the way down, and remember to keep these for sewing back together like I've shown you in a previous video. Now I'm going to thread up for my correct thread. So once again, you're coming behind here, make sure it is in there, you've got your foot up, down, around, up and down, straight down, round there. Put your foot down if you like, under there, under the little hook that's there, push it down as far as it can go, slide it across, hear it little click, let your right hand go and your left hand go and pull the loop. Alright, and there you have it. So nice and easy. Now you have seen my previous video that I did on cover stitching, and we made our own fabric on the cover stitcher machine. So now we decide which is the right side, and I'm going to show you how to replicate these stitches on your sewing machine. So what I've got on here is my standard number 1 foot, and I'm going to find my double overlock stitch. Now if I extend this button, I can see my double overlock stitch is stitch number 10, but it's very wide. It's on 5.5 and 2 length. So I'm going to narrow that right down, and if I want to I can measure how wide my cover stitching was, and my cover stitching was, I think, about 3 millimeters. So if I bring this in, maybe about there, maybe 3.4 I'll do it, and I can bring it closer. Maybe about 1.7, you can do anything you like. So let's just do a little sample and see if we like it. So with the double overlock, it can be used for hemming, but it can also be used as a fancy stitch. And let's see if we like it. Needle up, knee across, perfect. So that is the double overlock stitch. I really like that. It's the closest thing I'm going to get to my cover stitch here. And that's what it looks like. So I'm going to do that in pink so you can see it, but that's the closest stitch you'll get to that look on your sewing machine. So I thought not everyone's got a cover stitcher. Let's show you what you can do on your sewing machine. So I am going to just do some stitching on this. Remember, we're making our own fabric. It's a little bit slower than doing it on a cover stitcher, but just keep it nice and steady. Now I have got one layer of cotton fabric, I have got one layer of wadding in the middle and another layer of cotton fabric on the other side because I'm making a bag. So you can just sew wherever you like, and you can make your fabric using your sewing machine as well. You do not have to have a cover stitcher, but it's just fun to incorporate both. So it's nice for you to know that you can get that same sort of look on your sewing machine. Needle up, foot across, and there we have the double overlock and the cover stitch, a very, very similar look. Now this one is called the chain stitch, and at Bernina Club I was showing the number 6 foot doing couching, which I've done a lot. So today I thought I would do it using, because we were talking about this, the number 43 foot, which is a freehand foot, and I've just dropped my feed dogs down, so you can see on the screen they've gone yellow. When they're up they are white, so when I drop them down they've gone yellow, and I'm going to go through to straight sewing, and I'm going to put this foot on, and I didn't have anything the right colour, so I'm just going to use this up, and this is just some tubing that I made. So I thought what I could do is I could thread this through and I could show you how to stitch it. So I'm going to thread this through my little eye. So it's gone through the side of my foot like that, and then I'm going to pull it, and then I'm going to go down through the middle of my foot. So just twist it, or you can use a wire if you need to. This one's nice and soft, it just goes through. I'm saying that. Just give it a twist and go through the middle, or do that. See, it worked perfectly the first time, and now I'm going to trim it. There we go. Let's see if we can get it through now. Just got to hold your mouth right. There we go. Don't pull it back out. There we go. So you've got the wool or the thread coming from there and pulling down like that, so it's going to feed nice and evenly. Okay, feed dogs, drop down, straight sewing. So this time what I can do is I can just use this, I've just pulled this apart, that's fine, and now I can stitch over. Instead of couching with the number 6 foot, I can freehand stitch. So the first thing I do is bring my bobbin thread up to the top, or not. Now I bring my bobbin thread up. There we are. And then just stitch in one place for a minute. And now you can sew wherever you like to go. So this is just adding another dimension. You can do circles, you can do straight edges. You can get quite creative. So what's happening is the wool is threading through here and going where you go. See that? So wherever I go, the wool is going to go. Isn't that brilliant? You can make it thicker by just going backwards and forwards. You can do any design you like, because it's going to go where you go. If you want to do a square, just stop at the corners and then go down. So up, stop, let it connect, go across, let it connect, go down. Just do whatever you like, it's just fun. And this is repurposed obviously because it was something else. And I've just pulled it apart to show you. It's good fun. Nice and slow. And if you wanted to, you could actually draw a design. You don't just have to do it freehand. You could just draw a design and you could follow a design. You don't have to just do it freehand. You could draw a picture. And if, when you stitch it, if you can see your sewing stitches, just go back over it like there. The wool was a bit thinner and I could see my sewing stitches, so I've just gone back over it. And just thicken it up if you're going to do a circle. You can go back over. It's kind of a little bit like when you're felting, but you can just get bigger and bigger and thicken it up and just go nice and slow. I love it. I love doing it. It's very easy. So you can see you could be quite creative with it. Needle up, knee across, pull your work out and cut your thread. And there you have some very interesting, I like it actually, some very interesting work with the number 43 foot and putting wool in it. But you can put any cord or any thickness in it that will work. So this is the one I did on the cover stitcher and this is one I've done freehand. So that's just a little bit of an insight into that rather than just the couching. And it's a wonderful little foot, number 43. All right, now these, what we're making, these gorgeous little half moon bags, and this one was made completely on the cover stitcher, but I'm just going to show you how to now sew the zip on the sewing machine. So these have been overlocked on the overlocker. So what I've done is I have done one side on the overlocker here. So this has been overlocked on the overlocker just with a 3 thread, and this side I'm going to do the double overlock on the sewing machine to show you. So this time I'm going to put back on the normal foot that I put somewhere safe. There it is. Put back on the normal foot because this is only a 5.5mm machine, and I'm going to put back my number 10 stitch and I'm going to put my feed dogs back up, and this time I'm going to run my foot along the edge here, and I've just got the number 1 foot on, but you can use your number 2 foot, which is your overlock foot, and I'm just going to let it do my double overlock around the edge. So sometimes I don't go to my overlocker, I just simply use what I have, which in this case is my sewing machine and my double overlock stitch. One thing I should have done before I did that, which is a really good thing to know now I started, I should have gone round first with my straight stitch. Now what that does is hold all my 3 layers together, because my double overlock's going to go forward and backwards and it could form a tuck. Did I trim that? Yes, I did. So I'm just going around with a straight stitch first. The joys of the sewing machine, because as you go forward and reverse it could make a tuck. There we go. So now I can go back and do my double overlock, number 10. Because I just noticed here it was pulling my fabric across because it's a forward and reverse feeding stitch. So now I've held it with my straight stitch, now I can do it without a problem. So There's one reason why an overlocker is amazing, because you just don't get that. But good to know. And it takes longer on a sewing machine than it does on an overlocker. So this is the double overlock, and it's a very, very good strong stitch if you're wanting to neaten edges. So I've got 3 layers. I've got my fabric, I've got my wadding, and I've got my fabric on the back. So you can see it just takes a little bit longer. And up. Now this time I'm going to put on my zip foot number 4 to sew on my zip. So on the previous one you can do it on your cover stitcher with a chain stitch, but the foot I had didn't get close enough, so I preferred to use this one for this method. So number 4. Now remember to go to straight sewing and remember to move your needle position. If you've got a bigger machine, you can come in and tell the machine what foot you've got on. On this one, I can just simply move my needle position to the left or to the right, and it will sew on my zipper the way I want it. Now, you can use a continuous zipper, but I found that I had actually a zipper that I wasn't using, and it's nice and long, so I can actually use this, and it's an open end one, and sew it on and then pull it up. And I don't have to try and put the ends on, which you know I'm not good at. So this one's just an open end one. It's a really good idea, and it's a cheats idea, and it's great. So I'm doing that today. So the first thing you're going to do is put your right side to right side. So this is my zipper. I'll just put it back together to show you. And it's going into there. So maybe when you start, leave that on so you know which side you're doing. So right side, and we're folding it over and we're sewing right side to right side, so we're sewing on the wrong side. So I don't want that end at all, so I'm going all the way to here, and you can put a couple of clips. Now if you want to, you could bind the end here and put your zip underneath on the binding. But we are stitching this one on here. Now this pattern is from the Bernina Blog, and it's called the Half Moon Bag, and very, very good instructions. This is the pattern. This is the pattern that you get given. You can print out. So that is the pattern, and that's the shape that you cut out to make the bag. So it's all in your notes. So I'm moving my needle position to the left, like that, and I'm stitching from here, and you can see this is why you don't need to worry too much about your width of overlocking, because you're going to be sewing on your zip anyway. Just leave it on your standard stitch length, and as you're coming round you can just gently curve it all the way around. So quite a good idea if you don't want to do the zipper, the other zipper method that I've shown you. Just use an open end zip, and then you don't have to worry about putting the zipper end on. A wonderful cheats method. So I decided that was a great idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that when I was teaching Bernina Club, but it's a very good idea. Oh, don't sew in your other side of your zip. So when you come around to here, just back stitch that. Now, what you want to do when you sew your other side of the zipper is you want to make sure you're starting and stopping at the same place. So when I come around to here, where's my trusty? I want to make sure that I'm starting the zipper, and that is exactly 2.2 centimetres from the end. So I want this to be 2.2 centimetres from that end. So I'm going to clip that on and clip that on here. And I don't know where I put my container of clips, so I will pin the rest. I think I may have left them at work. That's commonplace. I need 2 sets of everything. So pin it on because we need it to end up in the same spot. And see how I'm not going like this, I'm just putting them on an angle just so that you it won't stretch between those pins. And come down. There we go. And then stitch this one on. And just keep your fingers will flatten out that zip while you're going around the curve. Just keep your fingers away from the needle. But if you flatten it down like that, it'll be much easier for you. Because it will want to curl up because you're going around a curve, all right? Just flatten it down. Oh, I moved it a little bit then, it's all right. When you top stitch it, it'll all sit down flat anyway. And just flatten it down as you're going around your curve. Perfect. Now I just did that on the standard stitch length, so now I'm going to top stitch. I'm going to lengthen that out to at least 3. Okay? And now you've got your bag like that. Now you're going to see how it curls over. So now you roll it flat. You leave the foot exactly as it is with the needle position to the length, and you top stitch on this side. So you just leave it exactly where it is, and now you just roll it over and top stitch it, and it will sit it nice and flat. A very, very good method, especially on curves. And go all the way around. Oops, don't get that caught. Now I don't stop when I get to here. I just keep stitching down there, needle up, and then just jump over and start again here. You don't need to stop and start. And then just roll it over. It naturally just goes in the right spot because you've stitched it the right way. You'll do yours a little bit neater and tidier than I have, but just to quickly show you. Now here, I've actually gone a little, not really close enough to the zip, so instead of undoing it, I just push the fabric up and cheat. Because I can there, and now we're back to it being correct. So it's a little cheaty method. You can just roll your fabric up and it won't hurt the bag at all, but it just means everything's nice and even. Now by using the open end zip instead of the continuous zipper, it just means that now you've got this and you think, oh, I've done it wrong, but all you do is push this through and you've done your zipper. Okay, so now what you do is you cut this end off. I don't want to use my good Bernina scissors, I'll get my older scissors, my little scissors, and I'm just going to chop this end off even. And the same to this end. Just bring this around. And I'll just show you here. Let's get my rubbish bin. So just put your ends together. So you get them nice and even, and just chop that off. And it's only plastic, so you're not going to hurt it. Now in the notes they put a zipper tab and a tab in the bottom. I'm not doing that, but I'm just going to show you the next step. So you've got your zipper in there. Now this is your end, I'm just going to straighten that off because I don't think I cut that very well. It's a little bit crooked. See how it's going out a little bit? I need that to be nice and straight, or else it won't join up very well. So this and this needs to be a right angle. Okay, so I just straightened that up. So now you're going to turn this through to the wrong side, like this. And if you put your tab in, you slip it in there, or else you just bring this across. See, I could tell it wasn't very straight. Make that nice and straight. There we are. Now you can see you've got a nice straight edge like that. And then we're going to sew across here. So make sure that this is centered. You can see it is. It's nice and flat. And just pop a clip in here and a clip in here. And then you do the same to the other end. So here we are here. You just fold it into the middle like that. And because I haven't got my clips, I'll put a pin and fold it into the middle like that so that they're meeting evenly in the center. And then we're just going to sew across this, so you can leave your zipper foot on. It's actually a very good thing to do, but clear, or don't clear it, because if you clear it, it'll go to straight center needle position, but bring your stitch length back. So be careful not to clear it, or the needle position will go back to center and you'll end up breaking a needle. So now, once you know that you've got that nice and centered, just put your foot down and you're going to go forward and reverse. And then over the bump. Now remember, it's only plastic, so you're not going to break a needle. Just go nice and slow. Come all the way over and you're going to back stitch. And do the same to the other end. Just hold your threads there when you start, because you're starting right on the edge, and back stitch. And all the way to the other end. Okay. Right, so you've got it stitched across here and stitched across here. I can take that out. So here's one I prepared earlier. So this one's all ready to go. And now you need to finish off that seam. So this is just a strip of fabric. It's all in the notes. And what you do is you get your iron and you iron your fabric in half, like so, and press a fold in the middle. Then you open out your fabric and you iron it in half to the center. So those halfway marks get folded to the middle, and that is going to form your binding. And just give it a little press like that. So you've got a little fold. So now all you have to do, where's what I'm doing? Now all you have to do is you are going to sew it from this side. You're going to open it up. You're going to place this on here and you're going to fold this back till it gets to the edge of your fabric. So there, put a clip, one clip there, and then this one, and fold it till it's at the edge of your fabric like that. And you're actually going to sew down that row. This is a really nice, neat way of finishing it off. So now you can leave your zipper foot on if you like, or you can put another foot on. I like the zipper foot for this job. I just leave it on. So hold your thread, go forward, make sure that's folded, go back, and make sure that fabric is there, not sticking up. And there, and come all the way down, and bring that in. I might just cut some of that off, it's a bit long. Cool. And just come right down to the bottom and back stitch. Needle up if you have got it down. And now what you do, it's very, very simple, is you have got your fabric there, and you're just going to trim this off to make it not so bulky. Just trim it off so that when it folds over, it's going to fold over really, really nice. And you just bring it over, and you've got your pieces already turned under, and you just bring it over like that. Pop those little bits inside there. Just use my scissors, put a clip there, and bring this one over, right over to there, and put a clip there. And now you're just going to top stitch there. Now if you've got a number 10 foot, which, do I have it at home or do I not have it at home? No, but I do have the number 5, and if I sew backwards, I can use the number 5 as long as I edge stitch to the left. So with a number 10 foot, I don't have to think, but with a number 5 foot, I can still use it because the guide is going to go along the fold line, but I have to sew and take this off. I have to sew back this way so that the needle position will be in the left. So easy as, just put it on this side, fold this down, put it under your foot, and you have got your needle position already to the left. It's a little bit too far. I'm going to bring it back one, and I'm just going to stitch down and reverse, and then go all the way down. Now make sure, I think I told you this last time, when you're using these feet, make sure you lift this up if you get to a bulky piece. So this middle bit just lifts up a bit, just lift it up to get over any bulk, and then just keep on sewing and bring it down. And often I will get a little pin or my awl, whichever comes first, and I'll just use it to hold anything that I need to tuck away. So I've just tucked this little bit of fabric under here. Oh. There we go. Tuck it under so you can't see it, and then hold a pin like that. Oh, come on, Robin. There we go. One moment while I just regroup, making you feel better. There we go. Hold it down, and then just use a pin just to hold it. It's really, really handy. When you come down, make sure you come all the way to the end and reverse. Needle up, take your work out, clip all your work, and on the other side you've got it top stitched in the wrong colour, but that's okay, it's the inside of a bag. Clip it off. And what this does, by having this, or instead of just zigzagging it, you've got a nice base. So when you turn it through and you actually have your bag and you zip it up, clip off your threads, another thread. The bag actually sits because you've got a proper hemmed base in it. So it's a really, really cute little bag, and if you want to, you can bind it. You do not have to have the exposed zipper like this. You can have a proper binding on there in a different colour, but they're really, really cute. So the pattern is free on the Bernina blog, and it's the half moon bag, and that is how you do your little binding. So I use this method for a lot of my bags, and I think it's a very tidy method to clean up your ends, much nicer than just zigzagging it. But I do think I like the sewing machine method, hiding that overlocking a little bit more. So yeah, your choice, but either way you can use your cover stitcher or your sewing machine to sew in your zip. But look, they're a great free little bag, so yeah, make some for gifts. Great for grandchildren if you want to give them something for a gift and they've got a little bag. They seem to like bags. And if you want to, you could put a little handle on it as well. So there you go. There's my little half moon bag. And don't forget, when you're sewing with your overlocker, your cover stitcher or your sewing machine, There are so many different methods you can do for applying a design on a fabric, and these are just a few of them. So, you know, play with your machines, get used to your machines, because the more you use them, the better you'll get and the faster you'll get. So, and don't forget to thread your needle correctly. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, whoever is watching, enjoy, and see you next month.